Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. So we're going to take this intro pretty easy and relaxed. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel. We're having a chill time here. But yeah, what's happening on this channel, you know, if you've played Wind Waker, then you're familiar with the idea that all the islands of the Great Sea are actually the mountaintops of Hyrule. But we never actually get to see all of Hyrule in the game. We only see this area around Hyrule Castle. And so what this project is on this YouTube channel is all about expanding that world, actually 3D modeling all of Hyrule in the art style of the Wind Waker, realizing this world that you know we've only been able to imagine before. And so welcome if you're new. Yeah, welcome. This is a video. I'm working on these intros. I'm trying different things. So we're gonna take this video real chill. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying different things, but yeah. And any returning viewers, welcome back. I've been really pleased to see a number of you just continuing to return and comment on each video. Like I always say, I'm so inspired by your comments. And if you're new to the channel, I really encourage you to comment because I read all of them, of course. I try to respond, and if I don't respond and reply to the comment itself, I might respond in a video. So keep an eye out in future videos to see if I'll respond to it. It really is so inspiring, and I just want to make sure that I say that like seeing what y'all have to say about the project and seeing how much y'all care about seeing Hyrule in the Wind Waker, it really inspires me, because I care about that too, and it's this game that I've always loved, and we've gotten to see Hyrule in a couple new ways since, but in this specific art style, this is something we've never seen before, and I would love to bring it to life because that's something I really want to see. I've always wanted to see, and I'm so excited to keep working on this. So without further ado, let's talk about what we're getting done in this video. So the time-lapse that we're going to watch today, we're watching some progress that I've done on retexturing the area around the Lost Woods. Now this is a model that I've been working on for quite some time. It's probably been a year since I started working on this section, and it's not like there's a lot done. I mean, this is a side project, guys, but so I'm kind of embarrassed sometimes talking about how long it takes me to work on different regions. But it, this does take time, and I got the time, and I'm happy to work on it. But all this to say is, like, there's sections of this that I haven't really textured well. I had like the general shape of things, but I needed to actually color it in, so to speak. So that's what we're doing today, is spending some time just working on putting those textures in. And there are some difficulties with that, and there are some reasons that I was kind of putting it off. And even after this video, there's things that I might still need to, keep a careful eye on and kind of readjust some things. But this is a good start, and this is still like, like an hour or two of work condensed in this video, just working on all the textures in this area. And I think it's a good bit better, but it's also not the most glamorous part of 3D modeling. I know I've done some other videos that are like a little bit more glamorous, and like modeling around the Earth Temple and putting in the Re-Dead, and there's this giant statue of a Re-Dead in front of the Earth Temple, which I thought was a cool addition. And I did a video working on Hateno Village and recreating this area from Breath of the Wild, and I like that. And I guess like I definitely want to encourage y'all to comment other areas that you want to see. I'm doing this video because someone left a comment wanting to see me work on a version of Korok Forest in the Wind Waker. And you might not be able to really tell from this video because I'm really zoomed in and working on some minute details, but I do want to talk about this region and some of the decisions I'm making. If you saw, at least from the wide angle, like I'm kind of creating this area around the Great Deku Tree. There's this kind of land surrounding him, and my idea with that is that, like, similar to Breath of the Wild and many other versions of the Lost Woods, it's the area around the Great Deku Tree is protected, is isolated, and is a safe haven in many ways. And you kind of, to traverse through the woods is a feat in itself, and you have to cross barriers and navigate a maze. And so what I've done with that is literally translating the Lost Woods into a maze. And I'm starting on texturing the walls of that maze in this video. But this is something I'd already modeled. It's in the shape of a Triforce, which I thought would be nice. And that's a decision that, like, the Lost Woods has always felt like a maze in Zelda games, but it's never been like actually a legit like maze. Which I think is just an interesting interpretation. I thought it was interesting. I don't know, not to pat myself on the back, but I think it is something that, like, with a little more work on the aesthetics of it, cleaning up the textures, maybe putting in some fog too. I got to figure out, let me know if I'm forgetting anything. I'm not sure that Wind Waker has a precedent for how it rendered fog in that game. There are like smoke textures, and I'm just trying to wonder how I might approach that aesthetically, and I'm okay with like figuring some things out myself. But if there is a precedent for a foggy area in the game, I'm thinking about it and nothing comes to mind. There are some like foggy areas of the Earth Temple that have this kind of like bubble pattern. I might kind of look at trying to replicate the way that's rendered and see if I can come up with something similar to that aesthetic. But yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking through it in my mind. But I am really interested to keep getting into this area though, and I really like the idea that in order to get to the Great Deku Tree, you have to navigate this maze, a literal maze. And there are some hints there, and I don't know how well you can tell, but in order to get into the maze, you can kind of look up to find where your path leads. I tried to design it with that kind of idea in mind. You may not be able to make the right turn, but if you can figure out how to climb higher ground, then you'll find the path. That's the trick to the maze. Spoiler alert. But but anyway, there's also like some area around the maze. I've created this kind of, I don't know if quarry is the word, but this kind of I don't even know, this kind of field outside the maze that kind of dips into the kind of a canyon with a valley of of mountains on either side. And I really like the way it looks. And there's this cave, of course, there as well. And I thought that would be a kind of great detail, just with the idea that like maybe there's this field full of enemies that you would have to fight before you can even get to the maze. So in order to access the Great Deku Tree, you have these trials. This is what I'm thinking through in my mind as I was modeling it. You have this field full of enemies. I think I'm going to put some like bokoblin platforms there. And you have to like navigate that, fight through those, and then get to the maze. And then when, if you can successfully navigate the maze, you'll be able to make your way to the entrance to basically Kokiri Forest. And I still have a lot of work to do on that. And if you see some clips in this video of my work on like the Great Deku Tree and the Forest Haven kind of from a distance, and it doesn't look like the Forest Haven yet. Just the island is missing some details. There's a general shape there, but there's still so many details left to add. But that's true with a lot of aspects of this Hyrule in this project. And I'm excited to keep adding in those details. That's how it goes. This is a big project. It's going to take a long time. But I got the time, and I'm happy to keep working on it. And and like I said before, keep commenting more areas that you want to see. If there's areas from other games you want me to recreate. I kind of already said that in this video, but I do want to invite y'all to comment places that you want to see me work on. Because both this and the Orden Village video, I started working on because someone commented that they wanted to see that in the world of the Wind Waker. And I was already planning on it, but I wasn't planning on working on it that soon. And I was like, you know what? Someone wants to see this. So I'm going to go ahead and start bringing that village to life. I love that kind of response. And so I really do invite feedback and suggestions and ideas, because I want this to be I said in the last video, but something I really like about this channel, it's not just a modeling project. We're creating a community here, a place where we can all talk about these games that we love. And I want this to be a place where you can kind of share your ideas for this project, I think like what really inspires me about this project is that it comes from a place of passion. This is not just, it's not just a 3D model of a world. It's coming from a love for the games, a love that I have, and I know a love that so many of y'all have, that we all share together this vision for what Hyrule could look like in the art style of the Wind Waker and the locations that we want to see. And I really enjoy that we can kind of share that as we make something together. And so to that end too, I've had people comment about collaborating on this project, and I would still kind of have to figure out how to maybe make that work. But I really do invite that. I would love to work with more people on this project. Maybe it's just a way of kind of delegating, if someone wants to say, yeah, I'm happy to work on this area or this kind of asset for a type of building or something that'll go into different regions. Maybe we can work on something like that. So if there's any 3D modelers watching, I would love to work with more people on this project. I don't feel a need to be the only one working on it. I would love to open it up and have it really be a community-driven project, in the same way that I want to invite y'all to leave comments, because really, that I love being a part of this fan base and being able to share in these games together. And I'm excited to have that. I love Zelda. I've always loved Zelda. And it's nice to have this project where we can just all talk about this series that we love. And I'm so excited that this series, Wind Waker is an old game, but the series continues and it's so inspiring. I love every new Zelda game that comes out. And I think those Nintendo developers really I don't think they've messed up yet. And I've talked before about my relationship with Skyward Sword a little bit. There's a lot more I could talk about with it, but I've said before that it's a game that it took me a while to fall in love with. But when it released for the HD version, I did fall in love with it, and it was really incredible, I think, to feel that way. It's this game that I've always kind of had a weird relationship with, because of the Wii version, and just it was hard to get into. Being able to play it and realize wait, this is the Zelda game that I really wanted to play after Breath of the Wild left me hanging on a couple of aspects. Skyward Sword actually scratched all of those itches that felt like they'd been unscratched by Breath of the Wild. And kind of combining them both was this now I have every Zelda experience that I want. And I'm going to give it a little more time before I even start to talk about Tears of the Kingdom on this channel. I don't know if I'm going to be posting a review or anything, but before I even mention it, I want to give it some more time, just because I know that there's a lot of people still playing the game. There's people that haven't even gotten the game yet, and I don't want to risk any kind of spoilers for anything. I haven't even beaten the game yet. And so definitely I encourage y'all not to, no, we're not engaging in a Tears of the Kingdom discussion yet. But later I definitely want to recreate some locations from that game specifically and kind of bring those into the world of the Wind Waker, because there's already ideas I have about some of those locations. And I don't think Sky Islands are appropriate, but I do think there's some other locations in the overworld now that could be interesting, but we'll get into that later. That's a conversation for me, maybe a couple weeks from now. But yeah, this time lapse is starting to wrap up, and I hope y'all have enjoyed this episode. Just watching, not a whole lot of 3D modeling, just a lot of retexturing, and I'll give y'all the ending spiel. I've tried to make this a very relaxed video. I don't know if that's realistic for me, but trying to do channel a more ASMR tone. I don't know. We're trying things. But yeah, my ending spiel. If y'all want to support me, there's several ways. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know how to do that. Subscribe to this channel. I'm always posting more. Subscribe to my main channel as well. I'm an indie filmmaker, and if you want to see more of my projects that are separate from this, that aren't fan projects, go there to see my original work, my original scripts, my stories. I do everything for my films. I write, I act, I direct, I compose music. If you've heard any music in the background of this video, it was my music. So another way you can support me is by listening to my music on Spotify. Look up Joe Kendrick, JoeKendrick, excuse me. Yeah, that's Joe Kendrick. So yeah, feel free to look up my music there. And of course, as always, I got a plug. I have a Patreon now. It's just set up. So feel free. I would love y'all to be involved. And if you become a member there, you can become a part of my creative process for all of my work. So I have links to that in the About section of this YouTube channel. So click that to find more information on all of that. So without further ado, though, I think that's about it for today. I'll let y'all go.